How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about this book that I've been reading. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And it's a very good book. About, I want to say, maybe 70% of the way through it. And it's really kind of clarified some things. I wouldn't say it has opened my eyes, but it has confirmed some thoughts that have already been happening in my head, and some ideas and stuff that I've kind of been thinking about. So I'll just get straight into what the book is about, or what we're talking about in this video is how to outwit the devil. And what I mean by this, and when I say the devil, I just mean the negative force of the universe. So whatever you believe, I'm personally a Christian, even though technically I don't really have a traditional Christian belief. Mine's a little different than that, and I'll probably get into that in a different video. But how to outwit the devil means how to get yourself out of ruts, how to, get yourself away from bad influences, how to stop living your life in a way that's unsatisfactory and that's not going to benefit you in the long run. Because what the devil or the negative side of the universe is trying to do is trying to just make you into this mindless being that just goes day to day, not really having any, direct goal, definiteness of purpose, just not having any reason for their daily tasks and just living life, just going day to day, and basically being a drifter, just drifting around. Everything comes and goes, you don't really build anything, and you're just like a mindless consumer. That's what the devil wants. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of big corporations in America and across the world want nowadays. And so it's becoming harder and harder, and rarer to find people who are actually not drifters, people who don't just, binge TV, who don't just go on their phone all day and stuff like that. These are things that the devil wants you to do. So for you to outwit the devil, to beat the devil on a consistent basis, basically you need to know how he works. And he works he works in several different ways. There's so many different tricks he has to manipulate your mind into becoming unhappy, into drifting. But for this video specifically, we're going to focus on drifting, because that's something that 98% of us struggle with, and we don't even realize we're really doing it. And that is for a reason. There's a reason behind that, that we don't realize it. And the way to stop yourself from drifting, but first let me tell you what it is. In this book, basically this guy Napoleon Hill is having a conversation with the devil himself, and he's interrogating him and demanding answers out of him. And so one of the questions he asks is, describe all the ways in which you induce people to drift. Define the word and tell us exactly what you mean by it. The devil says, I can best define the word drift by saying that people who think for themselves never drift, while those who do little or no thinking for themselves are drifters. A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind. He would rather let me occupy his mind and do the thinking than go through the trouble of thinking for himself. A drifter is one who accepts whatever life throws in his way without making a protest or putting up a fight. He doesn't know what he wants from life and spends all of the time getting just that. A drifter has lots of opinions, but they are not his own. Most of them are supplied by me. A drifter is one who is too lazy mentally to use his own brain. That is the reason I can take control of people's thinking and plant my own ideas in their minds. So that is what a drifter is. A drifter is someone who doesn't think for themselves. And if you think about the average person nowadays, let's say I'm 20 years old. The average 20-year-old in our society, they probably think for themselves a little bit, but if you think about it, a lot of their facts or a lot of their opinions are just what society tells them, just what schools tell them, just what the religious, speakers tell them. These ideas are not actually something that they have formed themselves. And this is completely what the devil wants you to do. Because if you don't fact check ideas, if you don't fact check opinions that you have or form them on your own, they could be the worst opinions, and you could turn into something completely terrible. A good example of this is literally um, the Holocaust. That is what happened. There's people who just took the propaganda that was laid by the Nazis, and people kept seeing it. They didn't really like take time to talk to Jews, understand the Jews, or anything like that. It just happened, and then it became this thing, and they accepted it, and they didn't do anything about it. And bad things happen when a lot of people just don't fact check and don't think for themselves. And thinking for yourself is really the only way to truly live and to be truthful to yourself. Because for example, in my life, I've, growing up in the school system, everyone's telling me to go to college. Oh, college is the best thing for you. College is this, that's how you make a career. If you don't go to college, you're kind of a bum. Just stuff like that. I remember going to career day in school, or there was like a college day senior year. I didn't want to go to college, and everyone else, all the teachers, making sure that everyone's going to college. And I was so, I was an outcast, and I was so like, I felt so bad, and I felt so like rejected that I literally wore like a random college hoodie and told people I was going there, because I was like, I'm not going to college, but I don't want people to know that, because they're gonna think I'm crazy. They're gonna think I'm stupid, and I'm not stupid. They didn't know that I've done my research. They didn't know that I had my third eye open. I knew that college is not the only way that you can make money in this world. And in fact, a lot of kids are making a lot more money doing stuff online, creating YouTube channels, drop shipping, whatever. There's so many ways to make money online, and it's completely possible. And you don't have to work a 9 to 5. You don't have to work 40 hours a week. You don't have to work for a boss. It's like, there's so many different things that you can do. And they didn't know I did my research on why are all these people telling me to go to college. And it's because of the Rockefellers, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's one of those rich families from like the 1900s that established the schooling system. And they did it to create a system of workers, not to create people who are going to make a bunch of money, live freely, and enjoy life. They created the schooling system to aim you towards college. That way you're in debt. That way you get a 9 to 5, you work for a boss your whole life, you retire, and you die. That way they can stay at the top and you stay down here. And so I knew all this information because I thought for myself. And then from that information, I made a decision to not go to college. And can I tell you, I am so happy, because I'm so happy I made that decision. These past, years where I've been out of college or out of high school entirely have been the best years of my life, undoubtedly. I've picked up so many good habits. I've transformed my physique, my health, my mental health, my thinking, my relationship with God. My income is starting to go up. I'm starting to develop a very high, what do you call it? A high income skill. And my life is just completely changed trajectories. I used to be a totally different person, and it was such a good decision for me. And if I didn't think for myself, I wouldn't have made that decision. I would have gone to probably MCC, which is a local college. I would have been around a bunch of people who thought the same way that society does, and probably just be a guy in his second year of college, getting C's, not going to the gym, still has a crappy physique, still eats junk food, doesn't really do anything, plays video games all the time. You get the picture. So this is why, and this is what the devil wants. And if you're in this boat, don't worry, because you might feel like you're behind. You might feel like, I've been doing this my whole life. Like, I can't change now. Surely you can. And it starts with little things, and it will grow into something bigger. You just have to keep thinking for yourself. And that includes family members. That includes religious leaders. That definitely includes politicians. If you are still obsessed with politicians, man, I don't know what to tell you. But as I've grown up and become a better man and tried to improve myself, I've just kept on getting these opinions and actually doing my research and thinking for myself. And I can say now, I might not be, the wealthiest guy in the world. I might not be the most handsome, attractive guy in the world, but I can say that I'm truly, truly happy. Deep down inside, I enjoy every day. I'm able to have gratitude for my days. I enjoy the little things, and it's really transformed my life. And I've become part of that 2% of people in the world who actually think for themselves. And these 2% of people are the people that the devil fears. Because if we can think for ourselves, we have the courage to speak it and tell it to other people as well. And then that's how we defeat the devil. And that's how society starts to turn, and that's how people start to transform their lives. And so I encourage you guys, if you're watching this video, first off, read the book. It's a very good book. Napoleon Hill is great, and it's crazy the stuff like he calls out in this. I just read the section on schooling, and this was like made in like the 1940s, and it's spot on today. Like, it's crazy how not much has changed on that front in the schooling system, which is crazy how they just still teach us to memorize facts and to memorize stuff and to memorize the test instead of teaching us how to think for ourselves, how to solve problems, how to, create happiness and create like financial freedom. It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous, and I hope you guys enjoy your days. Peace.